Video games often get a bad rep. Many of you heard the cases that video games cause violence, or that video games are bad for your eyesight, or that video games are even antisocial. What if I told you that video games are the opposite? That video games increase our social interaction, especially during this pandemic and during the times where it's hard to go outside and see our friends and hang out? That's where video games come in. Video games come in and they give us the chance to interact with our friends and play games and do things that feel somewhat normal during this time, and that video games could even be used in education. I'm here to hopefully change the way you think of video games and to hopefully give them the rep that they deserve. Now more than ever, video games are needed to increase our social interaction. Whether it's through competition games or puzzle games, video games can be used to give people the interaction that they need with their friends and can be used to hang out in a sort of way. Instead of going out in person and playing actual sports or something, we could play video games in person. According to measuring the capacity of active video games for social interaction, the Social Interaction Potential Assessment tool, not only do video games promote social interaction, active video games that are controlled by your movement, like the Wii console or VR games, can also help lose weight to a certain degree. So not only in this time when we're on our phones all the time or in bed, if you have a video game console like Wii or VR, you can actually get some exercise playing video games. Now, there's a video game that I want to talk to you about that I think is super important and has been kind of joked about and is kind of falling off now. But that video game, it's a video game that came out in 2018. It's Among Us. I think Among Us was a super important video game, especially during 2020 when it had its highest play rating. But Among Us was a game where you could get together with friends and you're trying to figure out who's the imposter and who are the crewmates. And it's a very social game and it helps to increase your problem solving and your acting skills and your teamwork skills. And the entire time you are actively thinking and actively learning. And that will lead us into how video games can help teaching. According to Adventures in Learning, creating role video games to play and teach to learn economics, the quality of education by the traditional college graduate is declining. Lecture courses don't work anymore. Everyone in the class just gets bored and they either zone out or they stop paying attention and they don't retain the information. We need video games in order to increase the attention from the students and in order to increase the fun. It's like watching a video game or watching a video in elementary school where they would put on the Magic School Bus or the Mythbusters or something like that. And immediately you wanted to learn. Immediately there was the interest to learn. Video games now more than ever can do the same thing. And they have, but I believe that they should be implemented more, especially in the higher degree courses like high school and college, where those classes start to take on the more lecture and then the attention falls off and we don't learn as much as we could. And I don't believe that video games should be the only way that we teach, but to implement it into the harder parts of the course. That way that we are learning a hands-on in a fun way over the hard parts, and hopefully that will increase how much we learn and how much we even memorize. According to the benefits of playing video games, 91% of people between the ages of 2 and 17 already play video games. They already know how video games work. They already know the consoles, the PCs. They know video games. So you wouldn't have to teach video games in school in order to learn how to play them, in order to learn. All that really needs to be done is to just tweak the games, make new games to make them educational. That way, the video games are there to learn, and the video games can be that way the video games are there to learn, and the video games can be implemented to teach new students. In conclusion, video games have many benefits. Video games can educate students during these hard times, and we shouldn't shut down or ban video games. We should start utilizing them, not only for entertainment, but video games can give social interaction and can teach during this pandemic new students. Hopefully someday video games will be utilized to the fullest extent and get the reputation that they deserve. Thank you.